So as you can see, my channel has been fairly stagnant for quite a while. I wanted something I could just kind of produce quite quickly. I wanted to continue the channel because it did quite well. It got up to 130 subs, which, you know, quite a high number, and it's something I can work with on the channel. I thought maybe I could just do like a vlog discussion where I just kind of talk to the camera about whatever I'm doing in terms of filmmaking, because I'm pretty sure that's the direction I'm going to be going in life. So the series I'm starting is called Post-it. I completely organise my life with little sticky notes and Post-its. They're all over my desk, and I'm now at a state where I'm too afraid to not write something down for fear of forgetting it. Most of the things I've got on my Post-its are just little snippets or ideas, or things I want to try out, things I want to see. I thought it would be good to call it Post-it, so it would be just a kind of a combination of my lifestyle and my interest in film. This is going to be a lot more specific to filmmaking, which means if that's not really your thing, you probably won't have as much of an interest. I'm going to continue to make short films, so if you're sticking around to see that sort of thing, please, by all means. But I think the direction the channel is going now is just going to be just this sort of thing, like talking about filmmaking. So if that's not your thing, you probably won't be interested in what's upcoming. So for Post-it, I'll just talk about what I'm doing in filmmaking, any tests I've been working with, any new things I've learned or found out, new gear I've bought, or if I've got a review of a movie, anything filmmaking based, and I'll try and keep them relatively short, just little snippets of what I'm thinking about in the moment. So we're 2 weeks back into school, and I'm doing AS levels this year, which is quite exciting, and it's really interesting. Like, going into A level is quite a bit of a jump from GCSE. Like, we have a lot more free time, and they've got like this massive focus on independent study. I'm doing moving image arts in school, and when we started back in, the very first thing we did was make a film. One of the great things about this one was just getting back into groups, because whenever you're making films on your own, it's really enjoyable, but there's a lot of benefit to be got from working in a group, and it's a lot more fun quite a lot of the time. We were able to get separate actors. We didn't have to use people from the group as actors, so that was good fun. And everyone in our group was able to be behind the camera, which I think is something I haven't done that much. So it was really interesting and really good experience. I think the film in question was kind of a parody of a Doritos advert, which I'll play on screen now. It's got like kind of like a Russian roulette setting for the Doritos roulette. We came up with something fairly similar where it was kind of Russian roulette, but the Doritos were on a spinner, and you pick whichever one's closest to you. And basically, if you picked a Dorito and then chickened out from eating it, in the original advert, you turn into like a big fluffy toy, and it was kind of quite funny gimmicky stuff in that advert. But in ours, if you pick and then chicken out, someone just like pops up with a gun, and like in Russian roulette style, it's only got one bullet, so they just like fire until they die. It's quite amusing. But we started into our first like proper film for the AS level as well, which has to be based off formalist or realist techniques. I think the difference between formalist and realist is that formalist is your kind of regular style, like you would see in all sort of Hollywood films, where it's very focused on producing a really nice, well composed shot, you know, something that looks just really aesthetically pleasing. Whereas realist is a bit more like conscious of the camera. It would show the world with like a shaky perspective. There wouldn't be much like sound outside of the world of the film, so diegetic sound basically wouldn't be as much non-diegetic sound. So it was quite interesting to learn the difference, and I've come up with some good ideas which I would be interested in doing. I think I'm going to go for a realist film, because I think I've quite a lot of the time I've been focusing on a formalist style. So another interesting thing, the letter made earlier this year has won Into Film's Film of the Month. It's going to be featured on Into Film's website and on their YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. Hopefully that'll give me a bit of exposure. I also had a lot of interview style questions sent to me to answer on it. I'll go through a couple of them. One question was the biggest challenge I faced when making it, and the thing about it was this was made during half term before exams in school began. So I was like completely up against it in terms of time, and nobody else from school probably would have wanted to be interested in helping me make this film, you know, over half term, so close to exams. I just had to be quite economical about it, so that was quite a big challenge. And then of course just coming up with the original idea for the plot. And a couple of the themes I wanted to get across were about how a condolence letter written by, you know, a format that a company or like a, you know, a corporate format which is purely based on efficiency and getting the job done, I feel would often treat family of the dead in an inhumane way, because you're just giving them like a formal letter. You're not providing any emotional support. There's also one shot in the film where it's got the shelves, which I felt represented a queue of people who needed condolence letters written for them, and how the victim that we follow, Ellie Gray, is just one in hundreds who have to go through this process of the condolence letters. The solicitor feels they have done the right thing in the end by changing the tone and style of the letter so that it is more respectful, more personal, so that she feels she can provide some sort of support to the family. The question, what advice would you give to young filmmakers, is also asked, and I think a lot of people just kind of give the standard answer, which is go out and make films. As many films as you make, the more you will learn, which is absolutely true, but I mean, nobody wants to hear the same thing over and over again. A few of the bits of advice I would give: work in groups. You're going to have a lot more fun, you can bounce ideas off people, and you can pool everybody's abilities into one film, which is going to produce a better end product. It is challenging working with others in that you're going to have difference of opinion of how to do things, but I think it's essential that you make films with other people, not just yourself. It just makes the whole thing a whole lot more enjoyable. One of the biggest lessons I learned, and I learned it the hard way, was never delete old footage, and I wish I had known how to archive things and keep old files better when I started filmmaking, because I remember a lot of the old films I made and I wish I could see them again, but I don't think that's possible because I have deleted them. So just don't delete your old films, and don't delete raw footage, because it is something that you will look back on in 10-15 years and look at how much progress you've made. So thank you for watching this first episode of Post It. I'll try and do about one episode of this a week, but of course school takes over a lot of time, music takes over a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time when I'm not too tired to make a video or too unmotivated, so I'll try and maybe do one every week at the weekends, but don't expect too much consistency. So thank you for watching, and I hope you will come back for more, and I'm sorry if I've turned you away from my channel with this, but I would like to make it a bit more personal and just a bit more like me, because I feel like some of the stuff I made before was just kind of trying to imitate other YouTubers, and that's not, I don't want to do that. I want to be me. So, goodbye.